In today's episode, me and Ben are going to be running through our recent charity run that we were both part of, from Byron Bay to Newcastle, 700 Ks, 7 days, 7 runners. We managed to raise, thankfully, up $46,000 for Kenyan Young People, which was insane. We somehow managed to get way past the goal.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So yeah, very grateful for everyone who donated for an amazing cause. And we just kind of wanted to give people some little tips, things if you're actually planning on doing something like this, as there's not a lot of information out there on, there's no blueprint on how to run a charity event sort of thing like this, like a running event like this, especially when it's so unique. So we just want to give everyone some tips. If you're keen on doing something like this, hopefully we'll provide you guys a little bit of value if you're looking to do something like this. So yeah.
Yeah, and just tips for like any event really, or also just if you're planning a trip or just planning anything really. There's a lot you can learn once you do stuff wrong.
Yeah, lots of bad things, lots of things that went wrong, lots of things that went very right, and a lot of things that could have definitely been improved. So we just want to share those with you. So I'd start with people. I think the people make the thing happen. We definitely had a really good team for what we did, which is really good. But I think you need to really outline what we should have done from the very beginning is outline the roles of everyone. We kind of did this, but it wasn't super outlined, would you say?
Yeah. Big shout out to everyone that was part of it. Did a great job, everyone. But yeah, there's definitely a couple things that weren't decided until later, and it was kind of like, oh, who's doing this? Oh, I thought you were. Definitely like assigning someone like you've got this job, so you do it, and then you don't do these other things. Whereas I feel like it kind of got mashed together a little bit at some points.
Yeah, where there's I think having almost like someone who's in charge of each segment. So I kind of would segment this into, you've got almost 4 or 5 sections. You've got marketing, you have your operations and logistics, you have your finance person, you've obviously got someone who's in charge of your first aid, and also including in that, you could also say first aid, your nutrition, all that sort of thing, and also your athlete training. So if you're doing running, no matter what you're doing, you're going to need someone who's kind of your head coach of that sort of thing. And that way you have someone for when people have got a question, they know who to go to. So from the very start, outline these people, their roles, what they do, and then they're then in charge of doing everything under that. They can delegate as they wish, but they're in charge of anything that's marketing related. It goes to that one person. Anything that's, logistics, whether it's what vehicles am I going in, this, that, the other, how am I getting there, it goes to that person. If you've got finances, someone's like, oh, I bought all the t-shirts. Who pays me back, sort of thing. How does that work? You need to have someone finance, so everyone knows. And you can also have, we didn't really have a main leader for Kenya, and I think that's one thing that we could have done is delegated someone as the actual leader of it, someone that you appoint as a leader and everyone's happy with, and someone they think is going to do a good job. And then that person then delegates out.
I think so my younger brother Isaac was the one that came up with this whole idea, and he's an ideas person, but definitely I feel like he would present the ideas, but it wasn't he was one of the runners, and I feel like he didn't feel like he wanted to lead it, especially because he was a lot younger than everyone else on the team. But yeah, definitely having a bit more structure to what each role is as well. Because there was a few things when it was like, you're the, I don't know, you're in charge of this, but it wouldn't specify what that actually meant. And so I feel like some people weren't sure what they're actually meant to be doing until several weeks after sometimes being told this is what you're doing. Oreo break.
Quick Oreo break. Got the milk, the cookies.
So good. They were half price, so I had to get them.
Respectable. I respect the man who gets his Oreos when they're half price.
Dude, only like $1.20 or something.
Lovely. Alright.
Ooh.
So yeah, in conclusion, people, you're not going to be able to do this if you don't have a good team.
Yeah.
Another thing I'd say is don't overload your plate. If one person is overloading their plate and takes on way too many jobs and then can't fulfill them, which is something I did. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that for you. I'll do that for this person. And that was very stupid of me because I was just like, I didn't end up fulfilling some of those things that I said I would do, which then causes problems down the line. So learn to delegate when you need to delegate. Learn to do jobs when you need to do jobs. That sounds so dumb and obvious, but it's something that I failed on, I would say. Not failed, but something to learn for next time is...
Yeah, definitely. Well, like with Jared, because he was kind of head of logistics, but also head of marketing, and then also did the mapping of everything, which I think, no offense to you, Jared, you did a great job, but like logistics wasn't your strong suit.
No.
And so that's something I took on partway through the week, and got something that just I don't know, makes sense to me. And so I reckon if you're ever going to delegate things, delegate it to people that it's going to suit as well. Like if you've got someone like my mother who doesn't know directions, you're not gonna give her the job of mapping the route, because you'll end up in who knows where. But that kind of thing is like, have people that suit the roles you give to them. Otherwise, things will just fall apart, because people might try, but they're just unable to produce the like quality or the product.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
True. 100%. So yeah. Definitely, yeah. Use the people that are good for things. Yeah. I reckon we'll move on next to anything else on people and your team.
Just, yeah, make sure everyone as well is fully prepared to do what you're going to do. Like we all were, I'd say.
And committed.
And
that's another thing.
Yes.
You need to be able to get people to be committed from the start and show commitment. However this might be, whether it's through, if you're doing running or whatever, if you're doing some sort of sporting thing, be like, all right, you got to start showing us some Strava records. You know, if you want to be on the team, you got to start training. Come on. Ben was a bit slack with his training.
Yeah, not gonna lie, but we made it. We make do.
Made do, but I was worried at some points.
Well, the thing is as well with the commitment, it's about not necessarily even just the runners, it's the whole team, right? Like everyone needs to pull the weight from the beginning. Like everyone sees the event, they see the like couple week build up of when all the serious training gets in videos and gets put out there, and they see the week of the event and then the finale, but they don't see the months of preparation that have to go into it. And everyone needs to be switched on at the beginning. Like I feel like that's one of the things that we could have done a lot better, is when we had our meetings, like our group meetings to discuss whatever it was, I feel like a lot of the time they just went around in the same cycle of people just yapping because because like someone would miss one, and then like people have lives, it's fair enough, but just that's not really a commitment issue, is it? But that's just like another point. Another point is that like when you do have your meetings, organize them a bit more and have everyone on the same page when you get there, so that
maybe to solve this, having a central Google Doc. Preferably, I would use Notion. I don't think everyone uses Notion though, but Notion's goated. If you need a note-taking app, go use Notion. It's amazing. I use it for everything. It's free. Don't pay for the premium one. You don't need it. But go get Notion. If you're like using a notebook at the moment or something, go use Notion. Anyway, shameless plug. It's just a good software. But yeah, I'd say keeping everyone on the same page, like what Ben said, and having your minutes, which we did for each meeting, but then sending those out, making sure people are reading them. But falling back up on commitment and having people committed to it, you need to have, from the start, like We'll get into the finances of things towards the end of it. If people want to get into the juicy deets of how much did we really spend, did all of it go to the field? It did. In case you don't watch the end, 100% of donations did go to the field. So
Yes.
there's that little teaser just burned because I just didn't want people to get the wrong idea and think we just stole all the donation money and spent it on chocolate milk. The Great Ocean Road chocolate milk is good. It's a good chocolate milk.
Underrated.
And we found that out. Where was it going? Commitment. Damn, I'm getting distracted. Commitment. You need financial and physical evidence. So all of the team members, runners, support crew, everyone, put $200 into a fund at the beginning to help pay for accommodation, food and fuel and things like that. So yeah, I think having people financially being committed to it is a way of showing your commitment to the event. And also, you know, if you're an athlete in it, showing Strava records, whatever it might be, showing up to group training, things like that, and showing you really want to do this, and having that from the start. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we move on to marketing?
Sure.
Cool. So I'll quickly whiz through the marketing for this. So, number one, Australia has the most trash internet reception ever. The marketing job would have been so much easier. Genuinely, the number one thing I would change is having, like Tesla Starlink, whatever it's called. I don't know, SpaceX Starlink, whatever it is. You know, if someone's got one that you could borrow for the week, the portable one, just pay for it. I don't know, maybe if they have a 1 month free trial, just pay for the 1 month free trial, whatever it might be. Just get it, return it if you need to. Because Australia, if you're doing anything in Australia, if you're not in a major city, the internet is just garbage. Like genuine half the time you might have no service. Obviously we're running, you know, in more remote areas sometimes, but it's just hopeless and you're just trying to upload things. Nothing's loading, people can't communicate. So that's one thing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we out and run one day down this dirt track to these farms. I got to the support vehicle, and my mum was like, when I'm out in the field in Kenya, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. There's no, like, city, like, 6 hours away from me, and I have full reception all the time. But then in Australia, which is a fully developed country, you get, like, 30 minutes out of the city, and, like, not even SOS. It's ridiculous.
So yeah, buy Starlink if you can. That will make your job a lot easier if you're the marketing person. Another thing. Jared, clip that little bit real quick where I coughed. Or don't. You probably won't. You probably won't edit this that well. Aim high with your goal. We were extremely surprised by the generosity that we received. From people. Once the message gets out, you know, we did it within our the Christadelphian community. You know, people from outside of that donated. We had lots of strangers on the way who were like, "What are you guys running for?" and then donated. So we're very grateful for that. But if you're doing this and you have a community that you can reach out to, you'll be very surprised. No matter if it's a soccer community, something like this, you'll be surprised in just, I think, how much generosity people are willing to give.
Yeah. Definitely.
So aim high with your goal. Our original goal was going to be $20,000. After a marketing meeting, we were like, "Oh, we'll make it 30," and then we raised it to $40,000, and then we reached 46,000. We didn't increase the goal. We just allowed for donations above that.
Which brings us to the next point. The software which we used.
The platform we used was called Giver.
And basically, once you reach a goal, they didn't allow any more donations. So, if there's any devs at Giver listening, fix that. But also just know that if you ever use it or any software that you do use, you might want to check that. We did test it, like, when we got to the goal. We had one of the team members just test and see if it went through, and it didn't. So, yeah, just keep that in mind.
Because to us, it didn't make any sense to stop taking money after the goal. We didn't want to raise our goal again because we felt like that was a little bit, cheeky. It was the final night. It was like about 10 p.m. the night before we're about to finish, and we're going to finish the next day at 5 p.m. I didn't want to raise the goal, but there's a lot of people who were wanting to donate and hadn't donated already, or may have, for certain reasons, just not been able to. So yeah, I think having a software, using a platform that allows that, maybe in Giver you can, and we just didn't figure that out. So give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, using a platform that allows donations above your goal if you're wanting to take that. And another thing I'd say is think about if you're getting close to your goal and you're only halfway through, maybe you're doing a week-long event, you need to think about these things beforehand of, if we get close to the goal, if our goal is 100 grand and we hit 90 grand in day 2 and it's a 10-day event, are we going to raise the goal? Are we going to leave it? Think about these things beforehand, because this is stuff, like, we're all really tired on the final night. I'm like, do we raise the goal? Don't we raise the goal? Everyone has differing opinions. You got people on the phone who are in like different cities who are also part of your committee, sort of thing. And that was a bit stressful, something we didn't expect to even have to deal with, but that's something that you should take into account is early on in the stage, before the event happens, plan out, okay, what's our goal? What happens if we reach this goal by these, and maybe set some deadlines. If it's 3 days out, we'll raise it by this. And be very transparent. That's one thing we wanted to do, was be very transparent when we raised our original, when we raised the goal from 30 to 40,000 before the event started. We were transparent, made videos about it.
Because original goal was 30,000. We reached like 25 or something, like a week before we were going to start the event, and we didn't want to reach the goal and then do the event, kind of thing. And I think as well, when you're doing it for like a good cause, like, it's people will give more, one, and also having a high goal is never an issue, really.
Are you lactose free?
No.
Oh, never mind.
I'm just gonna start.
I just gave you a whole glass of milk.
Start like exploding over here.
So yeah, have a person who's dedicated on the trip to just their only job they're responsible for is your marketing content, capturing videos, editing, uploading them as soon as possible to keep everyone who's back at home updated on the journey. That's something that so myself, who was doing I don't like saying this. It's cringe saying myself. I feel like
He did all the marketing on the trip.
not the whole thing.
95%.
No.
Besides the like vlogs we did ourselves, which, I mean, that's like different content in itself. You can't have Jared running in front of you. It's like a personal vlog while you're running, but Jared's just being humble about it. He did a lot of work for all the marketing stuff on the trip, and this is where this perspective's coming from. So,
thank you. Yeah. So I think also we had James Lynch. Give him a shout out. He was back at home, so it was also useful, especially when we had like terrible internet. So people could then send it. If people couldn't get the stuff to me, they could send it to him, and then he had access to the socials to then post it. So that was pretty good. Actually having someone back home, and he also did good work on the Canva templates. Getting good. I think that was something that also looked, very nice and aesthetically looking, was having some nice Canva templates. And James Lynch helped out with this on getting all that prepped and then scheduling that out. So, the 3 weeks before the event started, we had, 1 week to go, whatever it was, 5 days to go, different things like this, and then other just clips that we could then have scheduled out. So I think we should have scheduled more content, to be honest. Like, really had to have a content day. So we had what's called like a content day, where we filmed our promotion video, like the launch video and things like that. And yeah, just capture as much content of the guys running, sort of thing, interviews of the runners, getting to meet the runners. So yeah, things like that. Have a content day maybe at the very start before you've even launched. Get your promo video, a few other things, and then once you're maybe a few weeks in, whatever it might be, halfway, do another one on like a training day and get lots of good quality content of the guys training. And I'll just quickly bat off a few things of content ideas for people who are in the marketing. So, things you got you kind of have like your more well-made, professionally more sort of made videos, I'd say, which is your meet the runner sort of thing, where it's on a tripod, locked off, interviews, asking them questions, more formal sort of stuff. And then you have your more informal things, your content end, which was things like on the actual event when the runners are going, and I'd just be like, yo, just film like a vlog of yourselves. And like Isaac Flint just started like singing. He just like started, he just like made a rap. The guys would just like be like, oh, Juju was like, there's some cows next to me, sort of thing. And just that sort of thing, because after day one, the content sort of started to get stale, because it was Ben starting his run. Ben's just finished 17 Ks. Isaac's starting his run. Joey's starting his run. That got so, I was like, this is getting, people mentioned it as well, like, it was going to get stale after day two. That's just like this boring. So you need to spice it up a little bit. You need to spice it up a little bit. What other things do we do? There's one that Caitlin did, which was Caitlin actually went and just got everyone's like favorite cheer. She's like, "What's your favorite cheer? What do you what's your go-to cheer?" Just different things like that. So I think kind of let the guys be informal with it, get a bit creative with it. Let the guys kind of go crazy. Mid-run vlogs were kind of cool. People come up with different things. Me and Joey did a coffee review where I went and got coffee for Joey, sort of thing.
I think it's keeping it diverse, because like you said, it just gets repetitive, and people don't want to. They want to see what's happening, but they don't want to see the same thing over and over and over. And I think as well, like you'd be like, oh, it's runners vlogs. It's the same thing, but we had 7 different people, so each vlog was a different style, and each person saw different things, and it keeps it new. And like the support crew did like a day in the life, because people are seeing what you're doing, but I think it helps them also understand what you're doing when they don't only see the professional side of it, when they can see like everything. It makes them actually connect better as well. I saw a lot of people like, we were there for the whole journey because we connected with you guys on the runs and we saw the vlogs and everything. It wasn't just like, all right, today we did this and we've got like a shot of everyone finishing, everyone starting. It like gave it a bit of personality, yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. And I'm glad all the runners got pretty creative, which was good. Any other? I don't even have after Case for Kenya, I literally deleted Instagram and Facebook off my phone because I was sick of being on social media for the whole day.
This man's had average screen time of like 14 hours a day.
No, it wasn't 14. It was between 10 and 12. Between 10 and 12 hours a day. So that was brutal. Get prepared for that.
It's like some of you scroll Instagram for hours. It's different when you're forced to be on there.
When you're like, well, if I don't do this, people are going to be like, what's happened? Has the whole thing just ended?
Yeah.
So that was fun. How long have we been going for? This is supposed to be like a 20-minute chat. We've been yapping. Let me check the camera. The camera probably stopped recording. Imagine if I hadn't started recording.
That would be huge. Like 25 minutes probably.
25 minutes. Did you exact? All right.
No, was I exact? I was literally just
25 minutes,
guessing.
40 seconds.
How about that? Keep that in there.
Oh, we can see ourselves. I forgot this camera had a turn around screen. That's cool. Wow. Yeah. Well, this is going to stay in the podcast because I'm not editing it. Anything else on marketing? Sorry. Real quick. Yep. Get a folder because have a way of getting all your content to your marketing team because everybody's individually filming things throughout the day. That's another thing. Get everyone to be filming because your one marketing person is not in every place, and you'll have your team scattered between campsites, whatever. Tell everyone to film. Tell them what you want. If you want portrait, if you want landscape, I'd recommend portrait. We're in 2024. Reels are what's happening these days. Like, yeah. Get everyone to be filming and then sending it to you. You know, maybe you have an iMessage group chat. Get them to airdrop it. Maybe a Google Drive or an iCloud Drive. Our iCloud Drive, we had issues with everyone being able to access an iCloud Drive, which was just super annoying.
Another option as well, which we didn't use, Google Photos is also a very easy one because you can like set it to auto upload stuff, which is super handy. But yeah, that was definitely a thing that Jared, I know, got annoyed at. Is like he wanted everyone's videos to edit them, but people would be off not there, and they wouldn't have sent it to him, and they wouldn't have, which I mean is not his job to do, chase that up, and you forget about it. Like you film something and you're like, oh yeah,
Or you just had bad
forget it.
reception. Like people just couldn't get it to me at all.
True, but also I just had another thought about all the filming is like when the cameras are rolling and stuff happens, it's like it's interesting. It's like if you didn't catch it on camera, did it really happen? But there was definitely some moments that we caught that was crazy.
No, that was good. Yeah, so it's getting your stuff to people. Figured that out before because we were like on the road and we were like, oh, how are we gonna get it all? And it's like, oh, make an iCloud drive, G drive, what's gonna work? That's one thing we just didn't even think about till like we were on the event.
Yeah.
So I think I'll wrap it up for marketing. What else would I say? Not stack. If you have emailing lists, you're able to access. So we had because we were fundraising for Agape in Action. We had access to Agape in Action's mailing list. If you're able to, I wouldn't recommend spamming a mailing list because people are just gonna get annoyed and unsubscribe. But just being able to just put it out there, hey, we're doing this. So yeah, if you have access to a mailing list, I'd say that was definitely another big marketing channel.
Well, because if you think about it, like all the
old people,
older generation, the people that actually have the funds to donate and are willing to donate a lot more, are not the ones on Instagram seeing the daily reels. They're the ones that are checking their emails or getting a phone call from someone.
Send them a fax if you need to. Get the old people's fax number. No, like respectfully, you have to just understand, where your audience is. Like, it just makes sense. Like, you need to be, reaching out to, if you're doing the marketing for this, reach out to every channel you can do. So, social media, Facebook, Instagram. We started a TikTok on like day 5. I just made a TikTok for it, put the videos out. Didn't get any traction at all. It has like 1 follower, so don't even look at that. So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, make sure they're linked. That was another issue. Make sure your Facebook stories are linking over. Sorry, I posted everything on Instagram and then would link it over to Facebook. So make sure that linking and syncing is working, because that was a massive thing. People were like, hey, nothing's on Facebook for the day. And so a lot of your middle generation, I'd say, is on Facebook. Or I'd say your parents are all on Facebook, not as many on Instagram. So yeah.
And it just desynced because of the bad reception a couple times. But and always just keep an eye on things and make sure it's up, because you never know, something might go wrong and something might bug out.
Or you'll just look at your phone and you have 45 stories that are still pending upload for some reason because you have no reception. That was just the worst. Like, just the constant notifications on my phone all week of like, your story's still uploading. Please reopen Instagram. And I had Instagram open for 30 minutes. Anyway, I feel like we're rambling. Apologies, we're 30 minutes in. That's okay. We've got through people and marketing. Time for logistics. But first, I just covered the microphone. Apologies to everyone who, I wonder how long that was like that.
Not too long, I don't think.
It was like, okay. Midway break. Today's podcast episode has been sponsored by Genesis Clothing Co. I'm just kidding. Blythe isn't paying me any money, but if you guys would like some clothing that is, what's the category you call it? Right, like Christian clothing. Go to Genesis Clothing Co. Search it on Instagram. He's got really cool stuff. At the moment, I've got the Raging Seeds collection on. This isn't really sponsored, but Blythe's a good friend of mine. He makes cool clothes. They're good quality stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Go check that out.
Check it out.
And if you end up buying something, I don't know, put in like the delivery notes or something, like, I don't know, say for the doers. I don't know. It won't get you a discount, but where are we going? We're getting
logistics, baby.
Logistics. Next up, logistics. All right. Plan out your actual run sheets for each day. Something that I said I was going to do multiple times, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I said to Isaac Flint, I said, he made the rough schedule for it, and I said, I'll make that and put all the location things in, before we get to the event. Did I do it? Not really. I did it for the first day, and then every night I was staying up till midnight, adding in all the like Google Map pin locations and things like that.
Just to be fair, he did spend a lot of time and make the whole route. This is just talking about, runner 1 finishes here, runner 2 starts here. Like, completely different things.
To be fair, I didn't really realize or even think that we would need that until the Wednesday before, and I left on the Thursday. So that was a bit of an L. If you're over the age of 22, an L means a loss, which is loss means mistake. So if we say L, it means a mistake. Just if you're like my dad listening to this. So logistics, planning the route, I use Google Maps to, if you're using, real quick nerd out segment for 1 minute absolute max. Ben, start a timer for me. You know what? Start a 1 minute timer. You can skip a minute ahead if you don't want to hear how I made the route. Okay, here's how to do it. When you go on Google Maps and you put a walking route in from Byron Bay to Newcastle, it'll try and take you down the freeway. If you're on a desktop, use desktop Google Maps, you can kind of re-drag the route to make it go how you want. You can only do that maybe 10 times until it stops you from redirecting the route. And so then you'll be like, well, this is just like rubbish. So what you have to do is kind of do each segment day by day. So you'd be like, we're going to do 120 Ks in this day. So find a spot that's 120 Ks from Byron Bay, find that spot, put that pin location in, and then redirect that part along the thing. Try and stick to farm tracks, single lane sort of thing. Not farm tracks, but like single lane dirt roads. Then once you've done it on Google Maps, go to Google Earth, create a new file, save it to your G drive, and the way I did it is I create lines or polygons, whatever they're called, and create lines and draw lines over the roads, and then put pins in where you need to put it in. 3, 2, 1, boom, done. That's how we made it. Also, if you want a running route from Byron Bay to Newcastle, I've decided we're going to sell the running route Google Drive folder for $50. That sounds like a lot of money, but there's probably maybe 10 hours plus that went into it. So if you earn more than $5 an hour, then this is worth it. And the money will go to Case for Kenya, to Kenyan youth conferences next year. I'm not taking a cent of it. So yeah, I don't know, slide in my DMs if you want that. It is cooking in this van.
Yeah.
Woo! Where are we going?
Logistics still.
That's right. Have a logistics manager. Like what I said with marketing, have a person who's head of your marketing. And we said before with people, have a logistics manager. Everyone who has a problem with, which car am I going in? Am I going in this person's car or that person's car? Where's like my sleeping bag? Like, have someone that everyone can go to. And like Ben said, like Ben was really good with this on the logistics of, just check my camera's not about to explode. Ben was really good with this, and he could like understand and make the route, the run schedule for each day, and knowing who's going where, because you have to have your support vehicle, your drop, we called it the Uber, the person that's picking up, dropping off the runner from their start and finish points, things like that.
Yeah, basically you got to be super flexible as well, because every day I did a revised schedule at lunchtime, because it would change every single day what we were going to do, because the times that I said were different, or someone needed to go somewhere else or something like that. And I'm just going to really quickly go through like what a day was for us. And so like the average day would be 6 a.m. The first runner and the first support vehicle would go off, do a run. Then another support runner would, another support crew, and the next runner would go and get dropped off. And so usually I had the first support vehicle with just one person in it for the first 2 runners, and then a second person would, join them for navigation. And then like you got to get the runners to the points, to the support vehicle, get the runners that have run back, and then also you've got to get everyone to the midpoint, but you've also got to pack your campsite up, which we didn't get out of one of the campsites on time.
No, we didn't get out of like any of them on time.
Like 0 of them, and you just tell.
Oh, that's what. Sorry.
That's what you meant.
It's okay.
But like, we would be like, okay, we need to be out by this time. And
Usually
like,
check at 10 a.m.
yeah, so
on
like
average.
some of the like we'd all be up, but like some of the people wouldn't be there, and like that was one of the things I reckon I should have done is actually delegate people each day what they need to pack up, because sometimes you've got like 3 people are not here, they're out running, but all the stuff, their tents, and still need to get packed up, and people would kind of do their own, like pack up all their own stuff, and then there'd be like 3 tents left, and people are just like, huh.
I don't know how to pack up a tent.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But
Maybe buy all the same style of tent. That could work.
that could
That
also
way,
work.
everyone, before you even go, everyone learns how to pack up that one tent, and then, okay, that's kind of overthinking it, but like.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing as well was letting, like, this is why I reckon you have a person to do this and not someone like Jared. At the start that I was doing 2 jobs is because the amount of questions people had, like,
Oh, it was crazy.
you read out like what everyone's doing. It's like this person's going here with these 2 people in this car, and then you get the person asked, what car am I going in? Which, I don't know, they might have not heard you, might have just not been listening, and then you tell them. But like, you need someone that actually knows everything that's going on. And I think Jared knew everything that was going on overall, which was amazing, kept everything on track. But like, you need someone that knew what was going on in that minute. Like, this person needs to be here, this person needs to be here. And one thing I will say as well is for next time, which worked really well when we got started, is every night we did like a debrief meeting. And throughout the day I started taking notes of like, someone complained about this. Like, not complained, but someone
like,
wanted...
we can improve this.
We can improve this. Someone wants this. Someone said this.
Someone didn't get their sandwiches because someone else ate them. Ash again.
Anyways, we had this list and we'd talk about it, and like a lot of the standard stuff was like, we need to be out by 10 tomorrow, we need this, you're on this, you're doing this, and it kind of gives an outline, and it's just keeping everybody up to date all the time, which sounds annoying. Like, I was nagging people quite a bit, but it's better that they're nagged and they know what's going on than everyone is asking you a billion questions. I don't know what's happening, where should I be, what should I be doing, kind of thing. Because let's be honest, when you give someone a set of things to do, it makes it a lot easier because they can just refer to that list and then do those things.
And assigning a leader in this sort of thing for your leader of logistics on like, okay, this person is like your logistics leader who's like, they're going to be there for packing up camp, and everyone kind of has to listen to them, because when it's all everyone just kind of like free-for-alling and like doing their own thing, and then someone's like, oh, I'm off to the beach, you need someone who'd be like, no, you're not going off to the beach. You're packing up the tents and things like that. And yeah, you just have to, choose someone who's going to do that very well. Someone who's going to be a good leader, works well with people. Something that I'm probably not that great at, and I'm glad kind of didn't have to do that role for the rest of the week. Probably, anyway. Where are we going?
Well, let me tell you, it's like, it's not fun. Like, this is the thing that I said on the trip. Like, it's not fun telling people what to do. Like, I don't enjoy it at all, because, like, I don't know. But it needs to be done. Someone needs to do it, because otherwise nothing gets done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and I think another thing, logistics is, again, take another branch, is if you have if you have multiple vehicles, know what's in what vehicle, because there's several times when we get to camp and we're like, 3 of the tents are not here yet, and so it's dark and we don't have tents set up. And so that's something that could have been done a lot better, and it was by the end of the week. We were on top of that, but that's something to think about beforehand. Be like, this vehicle has tents in it, therefore it needs to be at camp by this time. Simple.
Let's just quickly run over the roles for each day. I know we kind of briefed over it. So you've got your runners, so your athletes. That's pretty obvious. They're the people running.
Yeah.
Now your support crew roles. So that's the other half of your team.
And just, this is for the event we did. Might be different for you guys if you do something else.
So just
Yeah.
So
sorry.
no, that's all good. So the way our thing was running is like, not every runner was running the same time. It's kind of obvious if you've heard this. Cut this out, Jared. but I won't. I've said that 4 times. So it was kind of like a relay race. So we had one runner go, then the next, etc. So we had your runners, we had the support crew, and of that you had your support vehicle. So that vehicle was with the runners pretty much the whole time. They drive 2 kilometers up the road, wait. Then you also had your Uber drivers who were going in and out, taking people back and forth. Another role that we didn't even realize we needed until we got to Byron Bay the morning of. Literally 6 a.m. We're about to start, and we just created a new role, which we called the navigator, which was someone who sat in the support vehicle. So you had your support vehicle driver, and then you had what we called the navigator, which is someone who was looking at Google Maps or Google Earth, looking at the route, telling the driver where to turn, sort of thing. Because obviously Google Earth doesn't show up in Apple CarPlay, that sort of thing. It's not like Google Maps where it auto directs. And yeah, then you also know like when the turns are. They can be looking on Google Maps at where's a safe point to pull over next, that sort of thing. They can also be handing water out, running up and down.
Another thing with that is make sure if you're going out into the country or anything, you want to have all your maps stuff loaded before you get out there, because otherwise you get out there and you can't load anything because there's no reception, obviously, and then you're kind of just lost. But also just another thing which has really helped with us is all the runners kind of looked at the route and knew roughly what they were doing beforehand, and that also made it a nice. But another thing we didn't do until day 2 was you need to swap out the navigator and the support vehicle, because my poor mum did like 14 hours on the first day straight because we just didn't think about that. Sorry, Mum, but
I don't know how it slipped through everyone's minds that someone being the support vehicle driver from 6 a.m. till 8 p.m. pretty much all day. Don't know how. We thought that was just like, oh, that'll be fine. They'll live. They might live, but they're not gonna want to do that.
They're not gonna live the next day when
they will not be happy when they get back to camp at the end of the day. So
I think a big thing as well that Mum said is, like, you leave in the dark, you sit in a car all day, and you get back in the dark, and you've got like no time to rest or anything, which you need.
Yeah, especially if you're driving all day. Like, think about your driver fatigue as well. People driving all day. Runners, you don't really want runners to be driving after they've ran, especially running in the heat, where they're fatigued, We were very grateful, and I think God definitely watched over us over the week and kept everyone safe, and answered our prayers in that, because that was probably the biggest concern, was runner safety. So I think should we go into runner safety now?
Yeah.
One quick thing, we had walkie-talkies, but so that way the runner had a walkie-talkie on them at all times, and the other walkie-talkie was in the support vehicle, so they could, constantly have communication, which is good.
Because just of why that was a thing, the support vehicle would drive like 2 or 3 Ks ahead and find a bay or like a driveway or like somewhere to pull off the road and park, and the walkie-talkies were quite good, and had a massive range. And it was so that the vehicle, because you're on roads, some of them have traffic, a lot of them didn't, but still, you don't want to be like creeping along in support vehicles. So what they did, they drive ahead, stop, the runner would come past, and then they drive ahead again, that kind of thing, which worked really well, actually.
And other thing, we had head torches on the runners as well. The runners who were running early morning and, dusk, sunset sort of time, we had head torches on that flashing, forwards or backwards. We aimed to run on the right-hand side of the road. We're in Australia, so vehicles drive on the left, so we're going into oncoming traffic. This makes sense because you can see the vehicles coming towards you. If you see a big truck coming towards you, take a quick, if you see the trucks coming 200 meters in front of you, and you have a look to your left, there's a caravan coming up behind you, then you can...
I had to jump off the road at one point because there was a corner and like a truck was coming one way and when I said truck, it's like a ute, they call it over here, but a truck's coming one way and like a truck was coming the other way, and there wasn't enough shoulder, so I just jumped into a ditch. But it's a lot easier when you can see the traffic, because you know, oh, there's a car coming, I need to jump off. Whereas if you're running, you might not always hear them, or they, like, because it's a corner or it's raining or something, and then they just fly past you, especially on the old country roads. Speed limits are high, and let's be honest, no one follows them. But also, that's not you don't always stay on the right. So 2 other things we did. So one with corners is you always take the outside of the corner, because
if it's fairly tight.
yeah, if it's a tight corner. If it's like a long gradual corner, it doesn't matter. If it's a tight corner, you try and cross. If it's safe, go on the outside, just so you can see around the corner a bit better, because again, people fly around corners quite quickly. And then the one other thing was, if you had a big shoulder on one side of the road, you kind of just stick to that one. So like one of my runs, I was on the left the whole time, because it was along where people park to the beach, and so the shoulder was like a good 3 meters wide on the left, and there's no shoulder on the right, and so I'm not just going to run on the right for that sake. And I guess if you just use your brain a little bit and take safety first, because you're doing a charity event, and it's better that you don't get hit by a car or whatever you're doing. Just remember safety first, because yeah, raising money is awesome and completing is awesome, but keeping yourself safe is a lot more important.
100%. Yeah, that was good. I think any other things that we did? Oh, maybe get high when you get your shirts made. Get reflective, some sort of reflective material on it. We had white shirts with our sponsors on the back, but there wasn't any like high vis reflective. That's so unfortunate. Thank you.
I don't think it's been like that for long. I don't know.
Whoops.
Anyway, high reflectiveness.
Yeah, high reflectiveness. Yeah, that sort of thing would be cool. We tried to stick high vis tape onto the shirts. That didn't really work. It kept falling off.
Yeah.
Have reliable vehicles that don't blow up.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
Let's tell the van story.
This van right here.
The van we're sitting in filming this podcast. Okay. 30 minutes in, we're leaving Byron Bay, day 1. Me and Ben chilling in the van, driving on the freeway. It was chockers. If you're watching like the video version of this, if you're on Spotify or YouTube, you can see it. Like it was pretty much full, like up to like our shoulder height with just everyone's camping gear. So it was weighing stacks, potentially over the max weight, to be honest. I didn't say that. Please don't find me. So we're driving along. It's struggling to get up to like 100 k's an hour on the freeway. And then we pull in after 30 minutes at a servo. Ben goes, "Hey, Jared, it smells like smoke in here." I was like, "Oh, you know, sometimes it smells a little funny after a long drive or like a hard drive and a hot day." And then I look over as I'm pumping petrol, and there's just smoke billowing out from above the wheel well. I was like, "Ben, get out of the van!" Stop pumping the fuel, run over. We had to get everything off from behind the driver's seats so we could lift up the engine as you sit on top of the engine in these crusty old Toyota Hiaces. Lift open the engine thing, like looking for flames. There's just smoke billowing out of the whole thing, just non-stop. Couldn't see any flames, thankfully. And we just let it open for a while. 5 minutes. How much? Am I exaggerating that?
Probably like 5 minutes.
5 minutes later, it kind of like finished like completely smoking. And then, yeah, we like moved it into a parking bay. NRMA came out. The guy was like, "Look, okay." I made it sound like he came out straight away. 2 hours later, NRMA shows up. Yeah. The guy goes, "You got oil everywhere." I was like, "Well, I knew that." And he goes, "Well, there's nothing I can do. I recommend you get a tow truck." So an hour later, after he left, so 3 hours after the incident started, I finally get a call back from NRMA. Super nice. Pay for NRMA premium. So my personal NRMA policy covered me, which is really good. Shout out Dad for buying me that for Christmas. It was really good. NRMA fully helped us out. Got the van towed back to Newcastle. We got a hire car from Ballina Hertz. Got like a Toyota Kluger hire car completely free. And then, so it's pretty cool.
Just to add to that story, me and Jared sitting in the cab, we pull up to the pump, and then it's like, it smells like smoke. And he's like, Jared's like, explained it all. He's like, "Yeah, well, Adelaide did that. It's fine. It's just a bit of oil." Got out, and then it started smoking. And I was like, Jared, there's smoke. And he's like, oh yeah, it's fine. I'm like, no, Jared, there's smoke.
There's a lot of smoke.
And then he looks over and like, oh! Yeah, it was pretty crazy, actually. I thought I was about to die.
That's right, Ben. Just stay in the seat while the van just blows up.
Yeah, I was just sitting in there, and because when you got out, there's a lot more smoke coming out from underneath. But when you're in the actual cab, there's like a little tiny little plume of smoke coming up. I was like, oh, that's not right. Then I got out and it was just like billowing out.
Yeah.
The poor server owner probably thought he was about to lose his business.
The whole thing's gonna blow up and just explode a petrol station. But that was pretty good. What other car troubles do we have? So that was day 1. Day 2, we woke up the morning of day 2 and Levi's car, the entire rear windshield of Levi's car had just shattered. No one still knows how it happened. We think maybe someone closed it onto something and it got a crack and then broke overnight. So yeah, that was a drama. And then on day 5 or day 6, was it? Auntie Deb's car, the starter motor finally ceased on that one.
Yeah. So it wasn't starting great the whole time. Sometimes you'd give a couple goes to start it. But yeah, day 6, it completely died. And so we were down yet another car. So for Levi's car, he got it fixed because he had to go back for an exam. And so we weren't really short his car, but then on that day we were fully short one car. Which was tough. Yeah. It made logistics difficult, let's just say that. When all of a sudden you've got a whole car missing and still 3 people that were meant to be in that car. But no, it all worked out in the end, which was very good. And a lot of stuff could have gone a lot worse. Yeah, like you said, I think, prayers were definitely answered over the course of that week.
100%. So yeah. Anything else in logistics?
Just stay on top of it, really. Like, if you get behind, it's gonna crumble.
Just prepare to get there, and then as you start, be like, oh, we need this. Just expect that to happen. Expect to have to adapt quickly while you're on the thing. You're gonna have to adapt as you go. Use a bit of intuition, sort of thing, to solve things. What else? Have NRMA roadside assistance.
And be prepared to put work in when you're on the trip as well. Like, it's not just like the logistics don't magically appear out of nowhere every day. You got to put work in for it to all work out.
And finally, the juiciness, finance. How much money did we spend? So we had 12 people. We had 5 vehicles. We had 7 days worth of expenses. As I mentioned before, every team member, so every runner and support crew member, all contributed $200 into a fund so that we had money to pay for a book accommodation up front. Try and reach out to, businesses. I think we got Coles donated, gave us a few gift cards, things like that. Like Morris at Bakehouse. Morris at Bakehouse donated just the bakery I work at. Let's go. Donated just bread. Just reach out to businesses that could help you out, sort of thing, in donating items. Maybe reach out to some solo. We left a bit late maybe to do this, or some small caravan parks or even big franchises. I reached out to Reflections, never got a reply, of them sponsoring it, sort of thing, or giving you a discount. So anyway, we had about $2,400 from all of our team members contributing $200, as we had 12 people. And sponsors, we were very thankful for the sponsors. We had $3,000 in total sponsor money. So we had about just over $5,000 budget to work with. We were really hoping that we wouldn't have spent it all and would have some extra to donate at the end of it. But 12 people, high fuel prices because you're in the middle of remote places filling up a lot of the time. Food is actually expensive. It's just inflation. Food's expensive these days, especially if you're 12 people, when they're hungry runners who need to be fed well. What else?
I think with that is which was really nice, is we estimated higher than I think we spent
For food.
for food, and for fuel was about the same. But for all of them, you gotta estimate and then go a bit higher just to allow for that, so you're not scrambling if something goes wrong. But definitely keep on top of food and hydration, because again, those are really important no matter what you're doing.
Real quick, have water. Have a case of water in every vehicle. Something we messed up on a few times where like there just wasn't water to drink.
Yeah.
So we spent all up $1,250 on accommodation for the team for the week for 7 nights. So that included the night just before we started in Byron Bay.
So 7 nights, yeah.
So 7 nights. Overheated, shutting down.
Let's go, baby!
All right. You know what? Apologies to everyone who is trying to watch this as a video, but my camera just overheated. So we're just going to continue because I'm not waiting for it to cool down. Future editing Jared here. I have some accurate figures. So the food cost was $2,200 and the fuel cost was $1,600 and accommodation was $1,350. So we totaled $5,220 for the full week. So if you're looking to do this, if you've got 12 people on your team, 5 vehicles for a week, you're looking at around just over $5,000. Our t-shirts were thankfully donated. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Any finishing comments, Ben?
Estimate higher. And also, like Jared said at the beginning, all of the funds donated went straight to the field because we had, all of the team plus the sponsors covered all of the running costs. And then in Agape in Action itself, there's a group of donors called the Core who cover all the money transfer costs and all of that. So all the money we raised, which was awesome, went straight to the field, which is pretty amazing. And we successfully sent all the kids, young people in Kenya this year to their youth camps free of charge, which is pretty amazing to think about.
So
yeah,
it's pretty insane.
Wild.
Thank you, Benjamin Flint, for coming on the first episode of the year of the Doers Down Under podcast. I'm probably going to change the name. What am I doing? Sweet.
Yeah, good to be on. Might see you again one day.
No, you won't. You just never come back.
Who knows? When we do the next one, we'll have an update for you. Update, see if we actually improved or just made the whole same mistakes all over again.
Sorry if we rambled too much. I probably rambled a lot.
That's the problem. When we get chatting, I feel like we just chat about nothing for hours sometimes.
Yeah. Why is a camera dead?
We're both looking at the camera.
It's just black.
That's we've made a lot of videos. That was another thing. Sorry.
Should we just end this?
No, there's one.
No, okay.
This is us rambling.
This is the after cuts.
Yeah.
The podcast has ended, but these are just me and Ben's ramble. If you want non-valuable content, keep watching, but we can't promise any value after this point. That was the disclaimer.
People are not comfortable with cameras all the time, which I guess me and Jared were seasoned YouTubers.
Bruh.
No.
We made some trampoline videos back when we were kids.
Yeah. And I've always filmed myself doing stuff, same as Jared. We were used to having a camera on us and not really performing, but just being in front of a camera. And I know some people found it really, really uncomfortable, especially at the beginning, and didn't like it at all. I feel like everyone got used to it at the end, but I just found it really funny that was something I didn't think about. So that might happen if you ever do something, people just might not be comfortable being in front of a camera. Also, we would do it again.
See you again next year, Newcastle.
Maybe not next year. Actually, that's one other thing. We're rambling again. If you're going to do something that requires physical activity, don't do it in the summer, because you will die.
Yeah, we should have done it winter. Whoa! I guess it depends where you are. If you're in Canada, probably do it in summer. That's probably a better idea.
But some of the days were
35 degrees.
35 degrees, but what killed you was
250 degree incline, 80% humidity.
Dude, the humidity I don't think dipped below 80% the whole week. It was I'd go to bed and just be sweating. and that's like I haven't run in like 6 hours. I've had a cold shower, swum in the beach, get in my tent, and I'm just dripping with sweat. It's disgusting. Anyways.
No worries. Thank you very much to Late Macquarie Media for producing this video for us. Woo! Oh wait, that's me. I don't know if you want video content and you're in Lake Macquarie region, go to latemacquariemedia.com. I don't know. I make videos now and then for people, and take photos and. All right, let's just end it. Thank you. Bye.